Hello, good day. Welcome to another section of our topic, virtual learning environment. So today we have to continue from where we left the other time. The last time we talked or we learned about virtual learning environment, and I hope you can still recall what we said about virtual learning environment. We said that it is a platform that helps you out to learn or to have access to uh, learning materials and others. So today we are going to learn about the importance of the web in virtual learning environment. So enhancing education through digital platform. That is our topic for the day. By the end of today's lesson, should be able to identify key benefits of using the web in virtual learning environment, demonstrate understanding of how virtual learning environments enhance learning experiences, and apply core competency to evaluate online learning resources. Before we start today's lesson, let me ask, or before we start our lesson, let me ask this question. Why do you think why do you think it is important to use virtual learning environment? And what are some of the benefits you are going to get when you use virtual learning environment? I hope now you can recall something or you have remembered something. So let's move on to our first objective, which is identify the key benefit of using the web in virtual learning environment. So what are some of the benefits of using virtual learning environment? One of the benefits of using virtual learning environment is accessibility. Is that accessibility? Students can access learning materials anytime and anywhere. So whenever you find yourself to learn on any online platform, you can be able to, and when you have internet, you can be able to learn by yourself, or student can have access to learning materials anytime, anywhere. Is that whenever you miss a class or you're not able to attend a class due to one or two reasons, you can learn at your own pace or at your own comfortable area, making decision more flexible and accommodating diverse schedule. So maybe you miss a class or during class time you are not able to simulate more things. You are not able to understand the topic very well. Through virtual learning environment, you can also move on to to search for more tutorials to understand the particular topic. You can have videos, podcasts, things that will make you understand the topic very well. So accessibility at wherever you find yourself, whether in the market, in your bedroom, at any comfortable place that you think you can learn. So accessibility of one of the benefits of using web in virtual learning environment. Two is engagement. Engagement, interactive tools like quiz, forums, multimedia, resources, multimedia like videos and podcasts, resources like TLMs and everything. These things have engagement. You have students can have engage with all these things, understand a certain topic very well through virtual learning environment. Keep students engaged and motivated. So engagement is one of the benefits of using virtual learning environment. Another benefit of or one other important of using virtual learning environment is collaboration. Why do you think collaboration is important of using virtual learning environment? Why do you think that collaboration is important of using virtual learning environment? Virtual environment facilitate collaboration among students through group discussion or group project discussion, and it also gives students feedback. It also help them team work skills. So collaboration Students can collaborate with one another to what? To learn about something or to what? Discuss something important. So you can have collaboration meetings, group assignments throughout virtual learning environment. So collaboration is one of the important of the benefit of a virtual learning environment. Another important of virtual learning environment is what? Personalized learning. Here we can say that personalized learning or learning alone, self what? Learning. So someone can learn alone without having a facilitator or anyone who is what directing him or her. So research for tutorials, learning experience, and also enabling students to progress at their own pace, focus on areas need improvement. Maybe in classroom, and you not get understanding to the topic or the content very well. Through virtual learning environment, you can sit at your comfortable zone, go back and watch some videos or listen to some podcasts to understand the content very well. That one is personalized learning. At that moment, no one is forcing you to go and learn. No one is no one is there to direct you. But through the watching some videos and listening to some audios, you understand the content very well. So personal learning is also one of the benefits of using the virtual learning environment. The last one is resource variety. A wide range of online materials like articles, videos, and simulations enrich the curriculum and caters to different learning style. So maybe I prefer to learn in gradual process, like step by step. Someone can someone prefer to learn in faster way, like maybe I want to brush through the topic. Someone also have to take time to go by read over and over. So due to virtual learning environment, you can have different learning style and resource variety that will help you to understand the content very well. So these things are the important or the benefit of what? Virtual learning environment. So one, we have accessibility. Two, we have engagement. Three, we have collaboration. Four, we have personalized learning. And five, we have the variety of what? Resources or resource variety. So this is the benefit of virtual learning environment. I hope we have right now we have achieved our first objective, which is the benefit of what virtual learning environment. At this end, I will end for at this point, sorry, I will end for my colleague to continue from this next objective. Thank you.
Uh, Please, I'll continue from where my brother ended. I do believe we have finished with our first objective, which was benefits of using visual learning environment. So we move on to our second objective, which is demonstrating an understanding of how visual learning environments enhance or improve learning experiences. There are numerous features that enhance or improve learning environments with a motivation to a student. So there are numerous of it, but we are to emphasize on only four. But they are so I go first one is the interactive learning. So in visual learning environments, it is or it promotes active participation through quizzes and discussion, enhancing retention and understanding of the subject matter. So with the aid of visual learning environment, students are to more collaborative in learning within their tutors and their learning activities, like giving quizzes and discussions, which brought the students in collaboration and uh, in collaboration rather. Oh, okay. So, and the next one is raw time feedback. Immediate feedback on assignments and assessments helps students to identify strength and weakness, guiding their learning process. With the aid of a visual learning environment, students are to know their score or even know how good their assessment was, to even strengthen on their their weakness and to move on with their strengths. So with the aid of real-time feedback, it helps visual learning environment to engage students in real quick assessment results, like in the whether it was a bad or a good result. So we move on to global connection. Students can connect with their peers, experts in worldwide, providing diverse perspective and enriching their understanding of global issues with the help of visual learning environment. Now, students can engage with each other easily. Uh, uh, as from the olden days where it was more difficult with the visual learning environment, now students find it more easy to communicate with each other, to bring collaboration and involvement in their learning. So with the aid of visual learning environments, now it is more easier to engage your friends in discussion to also attain their idea over something. So the last feature is also the help in skill development. In visual learning environments, it helps develop essential skills such as digital literacy and critical thinking, self-regulation, and prepare students for future education and career changes. So with the help of visual learning environments, students are now more discovered to their hidden skills, maybe to train them on it or to help them develop on it. So with the aid of visual learning environments, students are now finding it easier to access the internet with their phones and to even communicate with each other. That to make it that simple. So for the aforementioned features to that enhance visual learning environments are our second objective, which is to demonstrate understanding of how visual learning environments enhance or improve learning experiences. So they are information things, but there are numerous of features, but we are to emphasize on the four I mentioned. That was the in the interactive learning, real-time feedback, global connections, and skill development. So this brings us to the end of our second objectives of the day. So um, we done with the second objective. So we are moving on to our third objective, which is the apply core competency to evaluate online learning resources. So I will leave to my colleague to continue from our third objectives of the day.
Okay, we are now moving on to our last and final objective, which is evaluating online learning resources using core competences. So we have 5 points listed here, which are to be explained detailed to your understanding. Okay, now that we have achieved our first and second objective, we are now moving on to our last objective, which I've already talked about. So our first point is critical thinking. When we talk about critical thinking, assesses the credibility and relevance of online resources by checking the author's qualification and public links. What do you mean by this? Let's take evaluation criteria and examples. So let's take problem solving. So with problem solving, I'm going to talk about one point here. Let's say interactive math exercise where students must identify the method to solve a problem. So with this, they will analyze, we will talk about analyze and synthesis, which will backpoint what I just talked about. So analyze example. Let's say EDX courses. EDX courses, case studies that require students to analyze data and synthesize finding into actionable recommendations. So with this that I've talked about, students can what? Think critically and come out with possible solutions to aid their problem and then make whatever that they are doing what successful. So I'm now moving on to our second point, which is communication. Communication, evaluate how well the resource conveys information and engages the audience. Clear and concise communication is crucial. So example, video lectures with clear explanation and visual aids that enhance understanding of complex topic. So with this, students can what communicate effectively and then come out with ideas to um, come out with ideas and then contribute towards their successfulness of their what program. So I'm now moving on to our third point, which is collaboration. So consider collaboration. Consider if the resource encourages collaboration among peers, fostering a community of learners. So let's take group activities for example. I'm gonna use one of the virtual learning tool, which is Google Classroom. So Google Classroom group assignment where students can collaborate on shared documents, allowing for a real-time input and ending. So with the Google Classroom, students can what? Have group assignments like what we are doing right now. We are doing a group assignment for our presentation using let's using Google Classroom. So students can what? Come together and then foster ideas and collaborate, which will facilitate and contribute towards what they are doing. So my brother is now going to talk about um, the final 2 points, which is creativity. So my brother will take it up from here. Thank you.
All right. We are continuing from where our brother landed. So, class, I hope you have took you through the collaboration and collaboration. Yes. So we are continuing. We are going to look at the creativity and the digital literacy. So the creativity, we are going to look at a definition, which is look for innovative approach, innovative approaches in the resources that inspire creative thinking and problem solving. So in case that we have innovative content, put original ideas. We will put that original ideas in together to solve that problem. Or when you're doing something in the visual learning environment, you have to create something. You have to be a critical thinker so that you can solve the problem over there. So in such as um original ideas, does the resources present unique concepts, challenges that stimulate creative thinking? Yes, we need to provide things that you can use to think, but make a creative thinking and that your work. Okay, let's move on. We have variety of perspective. Multiple viewpoints showcase to encourage diverse thinking. Yes, that's it. And we move on. Engagement and exploration. You need to do what? You need to be engaged in whatever that you are doing, whatever the class is doing. You have to engage of it. Uh, Engagement and exploration. One, open-ended projects are there assignments that allow learners to explore and express their creativity freely. Interact elements, thus the resources include activities that promote experimentation and playful learning. Support for creative process. Inspiration and examples are the case studies, examples, or prompts that inspire creative thoughts. Flexibility in expression. Does the resources allow learners to choose how to present their ideas? Examples through video, art, and writing. Collaboration opportunities. Peer feedbacks. Are there mechanisms for learners to share their creative work and receive constructive feedback? Group projects. The resources facilitate collaborative activities that enhance creative skills. We are moving to the digital literacy. The digital literacy tools proficiencies. The resources teach how to use the relevant digital tools effectively. Examples, software platforms. And we have information literacy. Learners taught how to find and evaluate, use information from digital resources critically. Yes. And second point, safety and ethics. Digital citizenship. Digital citizenship. The resources address online safety, privacy, ethical consideration in digital communication. Respectful communications are guidelines provide for effective and respectful online interactions. Problem solving with technology. Real world application are there scenarios that require learners to technology to solve problems and adaptability to new tools. Does the resources encourage flexibility in learning new digital tools as technology resolve? And we have point four, um, collaboration and communication. Digital collaboration tools are learners exposed to tools that facilitate collaborations. Example, shared documents, discussion forums. All right. Effective online communication. The resources teach skills for clear and effective communication in digital format. So, per the points that we read, we evaluating online learning resources for creativity and digital literacy. Focus on how they encourage innovative thinking and equip learners. Essential digital skills. Look for resources that provide opportunities for exploration, collaboration, critical engagement with technology, fostering an environment where creativity, digital competence can flourish. So, per what we have learned, I'll let our brother to come and watch to come and conclude the lesson for you. Thank you.
So, class, I'm here to conclude the topic. So, by the by utilizing these key benefits and competencies, students can minimize their learning experiences in virtual environments, preparing themselves for successful future. So, class, all what my colleague came here to talk about was about the importance of web in virtual environments and enhancing education through digital platform. So, and our objectives were by the end of the lesson, students will be able to identify the key benefits of using web in visual learning environment. Two, demonstrate understanding of how visual learning environment enhance learning experience. Three, apply core competence to evaluate online learning resources. And what they said about the benefit of using web in visual learning environments was accessibility, engagement, collaborations, personalized learning, and resources variety. I hope you get this topic. And another point was enhancing learning experience through visual learning. So, and my colleague talk about interactive learning, real-time feedbacks, global connection, skill development. And another point was evaluating online learning resources using core competence. And their point was critical thinking, communication, collaborations, creativity, and digital literacy. So, class, all what my colleague said was about visual learning environment. So, class, this brings us to the end of the class. Thank you.